Guys, Jess from Knockout Print Shop, and today I have for you the reveal of our 2022 Inkwell Press Coordinating Sticker Collection. So if you watched my Inkwell Press comparison video, first impressions, blah, 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 from the 2022 and comparing it to the 2021, you know I talked a bit about the color palettes, how we might approach it, some different ideas that you guys had, what we wanted to do, all that fun stuff. So we decided to do something different than we usually do, which is kind of on par with what we were talking about in the last video, which was give you less colors per palette and also go with a few additional options as well. So what we did is we used the 3 colors on each palette. You can see this palette does not actually really have 3 incredibly different colors. It's more like a monochromatic look with a gradient or different shades of the same color minus these grays, the grays and the teal. So here's what we did. All right, so this palette, the first palette, palette 1, which is January, is called Cactus. So this is what we did. We did a gradient of the main color. So these colors are not incredibly different in shade as they step down, and we avoided this last really light color because it's hard to put headers and things on it without having different, having white and then also gray, which I think looks a little weird. So what we did too was, I hadn't thought about this till Matt and I were talking it through, but truly the darkest color in this palette is the banner, which is actually not represented on the mission board because this color and this color, as you can see, are different. So originally we were going to kind of go like 1, 2, 3, but then we're like, wait a second, this color is actually on here, and that gives us a bit more variation to give you guys, because this to this is not a lot and this to this is a lot, but again, that's incredibly light. So these were not easy to match, per usual with Inkwell Press. So you can see the remnants of our swatching here, which these 3 are the ones we went with. You can see this last one here, which I'm sure this is incredibly hard to see on camera, but this one is the lightest, and we actually opted out of that, and we decided to go with giving you 3 colors instead of our usual 6, because truly what that would have ended up being, and we almost went this route, was going with these 3. No, I'm sorry, these 3 plus the lightest and a light gray and a dark gray, which means in every sheet you'd have 2 grays, which for those people that like color and don't care about gray, we're like, well, I don't want to give you 2 grays on each palette, so we have an option for that at the end. Anyways, I am rambling, but I'm just trying to help you guys understand our thought process here. So we went with monochromatic. We went completely on par with what Inkwell Press has done this year. We opted out of doing a Knockout Print Shop kind of accent color. So in years past, and it had happened more and more as the years went by, is we would go in and add an accent color because there wasn't a lot of variation in the colors she was giving us in the palettes, and we wanted to give you guys a bit more variety. So when we started to do that, we put the main color, which this is the main color you're going to see on every single sheet in this particular month. It has to coordinate with that, otherwise it'll clash. So when we did that, we were just getting these really dark, like obviously a complementary to red is going to be green, and I'm like, throwing a green in there is going to make this look like Christmas. And we just were like, you know what, let's just stay true to the Inkwell Press theme, approach, color, brand, vibe, whatever you want to call it this year, and just give you what she is giving us, which is the monochrome look here. I personally, as I go through my planner and use stickers throughout the year, I tend to probably prefer less variety in color than more, and usually opt for 1 color plus gray. So I will show you that here again in a minute. So this is what we came up with. So this is Cactus. You have a dark, a medium, and a light. Again, we were thinking about going this light, but we opted to give you a shade a bit brighter or darker, I guess I would say, than that. So this is what this looks like. We have kept this color code in our back pocket in case we want to release that later as another option, but I wanted to kind of show you and walk you through how we go through this process. So this is Cactus. The next one is this blue guy, which is called Wildflower. So again, like I've said in the last video, these colors are the same, and then we have dark, medium, light, plus then there's this other color, which is really dark. So here is Wildflower. So you could see it really does coordinate with this palette. So we pulled, again, the border, this top one, because you are gonna see this every single week in the palette. So it's nice to have something, if let's say you're throwing a header here, this coordinates nice, you've got a bunch of mini hexes, all of this looks like it should go in here. So that's what we did there. And we wanted to be really consistent. The one thing I will say that I wish Tanya would do to create more consistency, well, let me give you my real wish list. One, I wish this was gone. I do not like this banner. I don't think aesthetically it looks bad this year. I think it's done better this year than last year. The thing I don't like for us sticker people is you always have to contend with this color. So in the past, when this was open and it was just, you know, there was nothing there, you just had to contend with this color. So it gave you a lot more options, but now this dark color is looking at you. So when you want to vary things up, it's really hard without it clashing with that color. So the thing I wish she would have done is really taken this color and made that the top, because now you're actually adding another color to the palette that's not on the mission board. I guess I would assume the reason she did that is this color is not dark enough to do her like diamond ombre. It probably wouldn't have given enough variation in shades. So I get it from that standpoint, but I really wish from a consistency standpoint, I would have loved to see, because I'm like neurotic and anal, I would love to see something as literally neurotic as like in every palette, this is the darkest color, and every, you know what I mean? That there's this consistent, like this is the dark, medium, light, not changing the position of them, and then making, again, I don't want that, but if I had that, I don't know, I feel like it should be this color. Anyways, these are random little Jess things that I just wish were different. So, that's my secret thing, you already saw it. But this is the color palette. So these little squares here is what we ended on. Again, you're just gonna see these are knocked down in a couple shades at each color. We again opted off of this light. Is the lightish one tends to blend in a little bit more down here. Some people like that, some people don't. And on some stickers, the light colors are really hard to be useful. Obviously for a checkbox, they're easy. Something that has text on it, sometimes it can present a problem because we always use white text. So again, that one's in our back pocket in case we want to launch something later. But I do think this is the year of monochrome, my friends. So here we go. This is on par with what she gave us to work with this year. No additional knockout colors. Okay, so that is Wildflower. What's this next one called? Orchid. Okay, so Orchid, again, I was originally thinking, okay, 1, 2, 3 or something like that. But then we have this super dark one at the top. Again, these reds, all these colors are so hard to match. You guys, I can't even tell you how many times we go back and forth and print out so many things. But this was as close as we could get it. I think it does go well. It does coordinate. Again, you can see where we ended here. And then we do have that light guy. But these will match, like 100% they will match. The other thing that I have noticed throughout the Inkwell Press time is there is literally never consistency with the color of anything from page to page. So Matt and I get so frustrated, and I'm like, well, why is that happening? I said that to him, and he's like, it just depends. They're printed on different printers, you know, and the different printers at different points have, you know, whatever. But you could see, and I'll, you know, when you get your planner, look at this in the same month, these are different. This is more purple, this is more maroon. So when we're trying to color match, I'm like, well, what the heck one do we go with? Like, is it, you know, so we do our best to make it look like it'll look good with, you know, the average color that tends to be on the page. So this is going to be your Orchid palette. Again, you could, and then just to show you the difference here, where Cactus, sorry, there's a fly in my house. Cactus is more red, Orchid is more purple. So you can see that there. And then let me show you the last one before I show you the surprise. It's not a surprise anymore if you saw it on that last page. This is Spruce, my favorite color in this whole thing, which is these tealish, but almost more of a dustier, darker teal. So not these two teals, but this is the actual color palette right here. So again, we went with the dark, which in this case, This and this are pretty freaking spot on. So in every other palette except for this last one, she carried the main color into the border or the banner. These are things like, for me, I know it doesn't matter, but like my neurotic, anal retentive ways wished that was consistent in all of the palettes. So anyways, in this particular palette, this color is your top banner. And then we went down here, and that's a step down and a step down. So you can see how those look. This is, you know, like if you look at it here, you could see that it's just very subtly different. So again, these are kind of monochromatic. And we didn't go with an additional color add-on, knockout print shop exclusive, and then there's the lightest one. So that is your 4 color palettes. I know, like I look at this and I think this looks really cool, and then I'm hoping you guys agree. It just simplifies your planning. I know most of us here are functional planners, so hopefully you look at this like monochromatic gradient thing and think this simplifies it. I don't have to think about what colors to use. It gives me a little bit of color, all of that. So I hope you like that. I know there's not a lot of variation, but that's just literally because there isn't variation. Like this is it. And again, trying to get these colors to match so freaking hard. I can't even tell you guys how difficult it was to match these. They're just, I don't know, maybe it's the same level of hard every year. Anyways, so we didn't have a lot to go on. I didn't want to introduce a bunch of new colors, and that's always like hit or miss if people like them or not. Sometimes they feel kind of off the wall because obviously coordinating colors are opposite on the color wheel, and they can feel kind of not right or something. But anyways, that's that. So here is our 2 new options for this year. We have our grays and we have our teals. So a lot of you were pretty excited when we were talking on the other videos, and I think Kate, again, maybe was the one that originally came up with this idea, so Kate, I'm pretty sure it was your idea. These 5 here are consistent in every palette. We didn't, again, want to just give you a sticker sheet that every single palette had 2 different grays and then the 3 colors. So the way we decided to approach this year, since it's kind of like this monochromatic gradient thing, was the other option you can get is our gray sheet and our teal sheet. So this teal is more in line with these. You can see between, at first you're like, well, spruce and teals are the same. They're not. Like when you see them next to each other, you can see this is dustier, deeper. This has got more green. It's brighter. So those are your other 2 options. Like maybe you don't really care for any of the colors and you just want to go with gray and teal. There you go. You've got it. Let me show you mixed, and then I'll tell you why I don't personally like this teal in all the palettes. So here's mixed. Mixed always looks super funky because they're not really all meant to go together, but this is the second darkest color in every palette. So you're getting the main accent color, the second one on these sheets in here, plus the gray, one of the grays and one of the teals. So this would be what your mixed would look like if you went that option. Mixed always looks weird. But, okay, so here's the thing why I don't like the teal. So originally I thought, well, this is great. Like, and everyone's like, yeah, if I'm not into these colors, I can just keep things neutral with the teal and the gray. The gray, heck yeah. My thing when I'm thinking I'm going to do every month is I'm always going to have like a full sheet of gray with me, and then like the palette color, because I love to alternate gray and the palette color. So you could see any color, all of these, if you hold it next to each other, they look great. Like, I mean, how can something not look good with gray? It's a neutral, right? Now, I will say, I don't think the teal looks great on every palette. That could be just my personal opinion. Do whatever the heck you want. It's your planner. It's your style. But I think this this teal looks odd on these pages. For some reason, here, it doesn't look too bad. It still jumps out at you. You're kind of like, well, that's weird. It's teal. This is blue. But I don't know if it's because of this that I feel like these just look odd. I'm going to try to take this little chunk of this little arm palette here, and like if I put this on here, I don't think this looks good together. So if we had like, if you were throwing a mini hex or like a mini icon down here, I feel like these teals, maybe the lightest one is okay because it's subtle, but I think they kind of clash once they're like used. And then let's throw them over here just to show you. I personally don't like that, how that looks. I think it doesn't look like it goes together. Again, maybe the light or, I don't know, maybe the light or the medium. And you might disagree. You might be like, Jessica, shut up. Like, I'm going to do what I want. That's what planner stickers are for. You get to do what you want. This, I think the Cactus is not as bad. I think the Cactus, you could definitely pull it off, especially, and you know what? Like, I think here, let's pretend this is not here. Then I think you could pull it off more. Like, that gone frees up so much creative space for you, for us. I don't know. Again, this is planner stickers. I'm probably getting a little too worked up about this. This, not bad. Green and red, say a little Christmassy to me, but I think because they're opposites on the color wheel, I do think Cactus can go with the teal palette. So there's that. Maybe this is just because this is blue that I feel, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I don't know. Watch me start using it and love it. I could be just being a butthead. I don't think it looks as bad here on the Orchid. Again, maybe because green and reddish colors are opposite on the color wheel, but let's just see it up here. That doesn't look to me, that looks like a flower. Like, that doesn't look too bad to me. I think that can definitely, you can pull that off and use like teal headers, you know. Yeah, I think you could pull that off. That to me seems a little more. And then, okay, so I'm being a butt because obviously this will look okay. It's a different version of those, but it's teal. So like, it's gonna look fine. So maybe the only one I don't like it on is the blue. So maybe I'm just being weird. It's not that bad. Okay, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents, guys. As far as like mixing and matching these, I know this video is gonna end up being way longer than I anticipated. As far as mixing and matching, like what I want to put, these are never gonna stick forever, but they don't, let's see. So let's say would I want to use, let's say, the Wildflower palette on here. I mean, let's see. Could you do that? That's, I don't know. What do you guys think? These are starting to look really rough, these stickers. Maybe. Blue and red makes purple, right? So maybe, I mean, could you use it here? Possibly. I mean, I guess, right? I don't know. I guess you could play around because you're not like, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? This is just me literally playing around and not, I don't think I like that. That doesn't look good. It looks like weird blue jeans. So yeah, I mean, you could definitely, they're all similar enough that, you know, you could probably play around with mixing, you know, putting different palettes. I got it, kind of losing my train of thought. Come on. You could probably play around with doing this, using different palettes on different pages. That's not too bad. I mean, I don't even know if you guys can see what I'm doing, but these don't look too bad. Again, I think it's the blue and the red. That is like too much red stuff going on. And then green, that's a little Christmassy to me, but you could pull it off. So long story short, before I like make this a 30-minute video, and it doesn't need to be, it looks like you could take these palettes and use them in each other, like use them, like overlap them a bit. But again, let's just go over. So you got your teals, you got your grays, you have Cactus, which is the first palette, you have Wildflowers, which is going to be your blues, you have Orchid, which is going to be like your more purplies, and then you have Spruce, which is kind of like your dusty teal. So yeah, that's what we did. It's, again, these are not super different. They're only a little bit different in each color step down. Some of them are more apparent than others. And then you have mixed, of course, which always looks kind of weird. But let me just show you. Okay, the other thing. Okay, I'm at 20 minutes. The other thing is we did change the font. I wasn't a super, like, I liked the font we went with last year. It was professional sans serif font, but I didn't like that it was too tall and skinny. I like when the font is a little shorter and wider, so it takes up more space, especially when the word is short. So we kind of tried to get close to like her sans serif font here, and we made it, I think this looks nice. I think it's clean. not super fancy, not like too playful. So there's that. But just to show you, because like a lot of people are saying, well, are the colors the same as last year? And I showed you in the planner how they're not, but I just want to show you in the sticker sheet how they're not. So this last year's Buenos Aires, and I thought Buenos Aires and Wildflower were dead on ringers for each other. And I don't know if this is coming off on camera, but they're not. This is much more blue. This was darker, almost like a really deep navy. These colors, they're pretty similar. So I will say that. This step down blue, or maybe even this last one, they're not exact, but they're similar. So like Amy said in our Facebook group, bad for Jess, good for you guys, is if you do have some of these leftover colors, I should make another video about this. I don't know why. This is going to make this too long. But if you do some, I mean, look, guys, you could totally use Buenos Aires in Wildflowers month, because even though these aren't spot on, you don't use this dark one, and these will all, like, especially this corally color and this blue, I mean, they'll go great. So this is making me think we could probably come up with Inkwell or Knockout Print Shop complementaries that are based on this color maybe. I don't know. Or we'll just keep selling Buenos Aires all year round. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I am so rambly right now as these ideas are popping into my head. But this will work. Like if you want to not buy more stickers from us, you could definitely use your leftover Buenos Aires. I think this coral will look good. That blue, the teal is okay. And obviously gray goes with everything. So just want to show you that one. And then let's see, Santorini, I thought for sure was Cactus. Like I was like, this is the same color. They are not. And then here's Vancouver, also not the same. So this is Santorini, which is this year, is different than Cactus and Orchid. I probably guess, is it more? I don't know. So let's like hold it at each palette and see. I probably, for me personally, don't like these two. This is more pink or burgundy. This is more purple, so that doesn't really go for me. Obviously, if you have teals left, the teal, like we're talking about, work. This pink, you could probably pull this pink off. The blue, maybe. Let's look at Wildflower, or not Wildflower, Orchid. Orchid, you could probably make it work. Even though this purple is not the same, they kind of seem to be in the same family. So it looks like you could use Santorini in Orchid months. So let's see Vancouver. So Vancouver also, I thought it was a dead ringer for Orchid. It is not. Neither of these two new ones are exactly what this was, but I think, again, there is some similarity. Like these two colors are not the same, but they're pretty darn close. So I think you could definitely get away with using, I would not use this purple, it's too purple, but you could use this second color in the Vancouver palette. This light one here, if you liked our neutrally cream color one, you could probably use that in the blue. So I would say you could probably use those. So if you have leftover Vancouver, you have that. I did not have any of the Venice printed in the header, but let's see with, it's pretty good, guys. So here's Spruce. Again, these are not, the second color is really similar, not the top. So, I mean, if you want more options outside of your monochrome gradient, I would say the Venice palette definitely still can work. And I know a lot of people don't like this lime yellow. I like it. I think that can work. Probably this blue and probably that. So if you have leftover stickers, again, not so great for Knockout Print Shop. Pretty good for you guys that you won't have to buy as many stickers if you have leftover stuff, because a lot of this will be usable for now. So, okay, I don't, I like the simplicity of it. Is it the most exciting color palettes we've ever come up with? No. But again, we just wanted to try to stay true to the Inkwell Press concept this year and give you what she gave us. That's kind of my thing right now. So we got Cactus. Again, we have Wildflower, we have Orchid, and we have Spruce. And then, of course, there's our add-ons of you can do a gray sheet, you can do a teal sheet, and you can do mixed. So very simple, minimalistic. I know that is a little bit more of a trend now in the planner community. It's kind of like that less is more with color and design and all of that stuff. So I think we're kind of, a lot of people in the planner community are getting away with like overly decorative stuff. I mean, but if that's still your jam and you like color, rock out, do whatever you like. So I'm going to quit rambling. Based on this video, please let me know if you guys have any thoughts. We will unroll these when this video goes out. These might already be, some of these listings like the headers and mini hexes, our best sellers, may already be live in the shop. But we will be sticking with this concept. We're not opposed to doing some different little add-ons and exclusives of some other colors. If you guys liked, you know, the really light color I kind of briefly showed you in each of these, let me know. We could maybe do like a light mixed or something. If you want to see like a knockout print shop complementary color for each palette, maybe we could do that as a limited option. I don't know. It was just a lot to think about and a lot to try to figure out. So we tried to go the simple route. That's all, guys. I hope you like this or like most of it. And as usual, we're open to feedback. You can head over to the Facebook group and start a convo. You can comment below on the video. You could send us an email at hello@knockoutprintshop. We always love to hear from you guys. So I hope all is well. Hope you guys like this. I'm going to stop talking now. Bye, guys.